Well, let's move on to the next panel discussion. We all know generative AI is rapidly transforming how insurers engage with customers nowadays. From intelligent sales, support, at the same time faster onboarding, 24/7 personalized customer support. Our next discussion definitely explores such great arena where insurers are implementing Gen AI to actually just not operational efficiency, but to enhance and improve customer experiences, drive smarter experiences when onboarding customers. Well, let's get going with the panel, Gen AI for Insurance, implementing Gen AI for sales, onboarding, and customer service. For this, I'd like to call upon our esteemed panel, starting with, may I now request Mr. Suresh Kolla, Head IT and Operations, Care Health Insurance Limited, to join us on stage. Can we have a huge round of applause and welcome him? Joining the panelists, Mr. Dheepak Rajoo, Chief Information Officer, Royal Sundaram General Insurance Company Limited. Can we have a huge round of applause for him as well? May I now call upon Mr. Chirag, Bhojani, Head Digital Business, ICICI Lombard. Can we have a huge round of applause and welcome him to the panel? May I now call upon Sameer Malgundkar, Senior Vice President and Head Operation Customer Experience Process Excellence, Liberty General Insurance. Can we have a huge round of applause and welcome him? Joining the stage is Mr. Hitesh Chaudhari, AVP Marketing Insights and Customer Experience, Future Generali India Insurance Company Limited. Can we have a huge round of applause and welcome Mr. Hitesh? May I now call upon Mr. 𝐒𝐚𝐥𝐬𝐿, Head Distribution and Strategy Partnership, Aditya Birla Sun Life Insurance. Can we have a huge round of applause and welcome him? Moderating this esteemed panel is Samrat Ghosh, Head Digital Business and Partnership, SBI General Insurance. Can we have a huge round of applause and welcome him?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Post-lunch session. We'll try to keep it as engaging as possible because we are talking about Gen AI. We have an esteemed panelist here. I'll request if everybody can introduce themselves once again.
Thanks, Samrat. Good afternoon. I am Kolla Suresh. I am from Care Health Insurance. I look after technology and operations at Care Health Insurance.
Good afternoon. My name is Dheepak Rajoo, and I'm the Chief Information Officer for Royal Sundaram Insurance. We're part of the Sundaram Finance group.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Chirag, Bhojani. I head the digital business at ICICI Lombard, take care of the direct-to-consumer practice as well as the alliance partnerships.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Sameer Malgundkar. I head operations, customer experience and process excellence at Liberty General Insurance.
Hi, I'm Hitesh Chaudhari. I am a part of marketing and customer experience. So I look after insights and customer experience for Generali Central Insurance.
Thank you. Hi, my name is 𝐒𝐚𝐥𝐬𝐿. I had distribution strategy at Aditya Birla Sun Life Insurance.
And I am Samrat Ghosh. I'll be moderating the session today. And I'm from SBI General Insurance. I head the digital business and digital partnerships. Now, talking about Gen AI today, as you know, I think it's a buzzword in our corporate boardrooms these days to use Gen AI. I'll start with, in a clockwise, I'll start with Suresh first, since you had IT and operations at Care Insurance. In your present role at Care, how you are leveraging Gen AI so that it becomes easier for IT architecture as well as for customer operations to manage customer lifecycle management.
The way The way I look at, or the way we are looking at internally how to leverage on Gen AI is we are looking at technologies within Gen AI which are actually mature. And also from a human or department element, how the departments are willing to adopt to some of those technologies. So if in that line, if I look at on the back office operation side, if I have to look at since insurance, there are a lot of documents which keep on coming in with respect to claims, with respect to operations. The digitization, classification, extraction, that segment is something that we feel where technology, the AI technologies have matured. And also there is, within the departments, we are able to incorporate some of these technologies. So that is one aspect that we are using across the organization chain, let it be claims, operations, finance, wherever there is any document that is coming in and it needs classification and digitization. The other aspect on the technology side, if I look at, since we have also invested a lot on building our own tech team, we have seen the usage of tech for tech. When I say tech for tech, that is another area where there is a lot of maturity that has happened with respect to the different roles within the technology. If you look at from a development side or from a testing side or from a product requirement side, we are seeing the technologies have matured, and that is where we are again started using these technologies which are started giving us advantages.
Okay. Thank you, Suresh. Now, Dheepak, I think the audience would like to understand how Royal Sundaram is adopting AI in terms of quick underwriting and using legacy and being agile on changing on the legacy systems.
I think we, most insurance companies, we are a 25-year-old company. We're the first to get licensed in the country. And we're sitting on a truckload of data, both structured and unstructured. So it's only obvious that we try and see how we can leverage that data to underwrite or price risks smarter and better to the market. I think there are two clear areas. When we talk about AI, there is the classical AI, and there is pre-generated text, which is the GPTs of the world. On the classical AI, we have built AI models both on the underwriting front as well as on the claims front. On underwriting, we use a lot of data insights from IIB, which is actually a reciprocal database where all the insurance companies contribute to the data on a reciprocal basis. And I think the quality of data is about 95% accurate at the 90th percentile. So therefore, there's good data coming in from the industry for the industry's use. So we built something on top of what data points that we get out of IIB and see if we can use that data to price predict better. So it's like a win-win for both the customers as well as for us. On the claim side, I think we work with a company out of Bangalore. They have a large vision model, and they've trained the vision model on about 40 billion parameters, about 300 million images. And we find some very good benefits in terms of our ability to process claims through AI, where it is perhaps zero touch. AI, the vision model is in a position to identify a damage to a part, whether it is metal or rubber or plastic. The AI model is also able to differentiate between a bump and a dent and a airline crack. So I think the maturity of the models are significantly advanced. It's only imperative that every insurance company uses that model. We're not in the game of training models, that's too expensive anyway. OpenAI, to train an OpenAI frontier model takes you about maybe 50,000-60,000 GPUs. I mean, that's not something that we can buy for, not even the companies with deep pockets. So I think as an insurance business, we will infuse a lot of this into both underwriting, which is ability to price risk correctly, as well as on the claim side, where we can have a handle on our average claims cost and be able to provide better experience to consumers.
Okay, thank you, Dheepak. So Chirag, I'll come to you now. So Dheepak mentioned about how they can, create an experience for customers who comes for a claim. Continuing with this, because you look at customer onboarding, because you look at the fresh business at ICICI Lombard. So what specific use cases you are, where ICICI Lombard using Gen AI for personalization and identifying which is the right customer or a profitable customer?
So superb. I think first of all, thank you for having me on this panel. I think it's a great opportunity to interact with a lot of people here. So if you really think of the purchase journey of insurance, right, it starts off right from the time a person is looking for insurance. Now the person could be looking for insurance through their mobile or through a desktop, through Google, watching YouTube videos, etc. Right? That whole world also is changing if you really think about it, right? If you really look at your own screens, when you ask a question which is typically like a question, you get an AI overview which typically a Google would give you. The same thing, if you go to a chat GPT or a Claude or any of the large language models. The idea is obviously from that place onwards, one, are you as an insurance company up there when it comes to answering that question? Because you want to be there, kind of being in the top, category for an AI engine optimization, right? I think the days where all of us used to invest in Google just from a search perspective, right, is going to change, right? I think that's the first piece when you talk about the purchase journey. The second piece is once, let's say the person is on the website or the app, what is the first thing that people think from an insurance perspective, right? Let's be honest, all of us on the panel and a lot of us in the room, right, have made insurance extremely complex for anybody to understand. So how are you going to simplify it at a personalized level for the consumer is what matters the most. So 2-3 things that we've done, and I can talk about it. So one is, people talk a lot about conversational AI. What we've done is as a part of our entire purchase journey from a health insurance perspective, because health is relatively more complex than a motor, we've kind of had a conversational AI sitting right in the purchase journey itself. And what it does is it basically answers questions relative to the product, relative to the covers. Simple questions is, if let's say I'm going to be having a total knee replacement, will it be covered? What's the room rent capping that you're going to have? And things like that, right? Very simple questions which typically are there top of user minds. And those are questions that get answered as part of the entire conversational AI engine. Now, at first, we spun this off as a normal chatbot thinking, okay, we should have a chatbot on our website, etc., right? But slowly over time, we realized that just having a chatbot on the website does not help unless you really make it as a part of the entire conversational flow when the person is buying insurance. So that's what we've done. And if you really think of Lombard and the sales that we get from a D2C perspective, of the 100 sales that come on the website, right, almost you'd be surprised that at least 13 people are actually conversing with the AI engine. Now that's a small number, right? But still, it's a number that's significant for us because people are conversing with that engine for them to understand, what are the product coverages like, etc. The second piece, which a lot of us have now started doing, is to be able to personalize product and covers, right? A lot of what Dheepak and Suresh also talked about are all on the claim side and the underwriting side, right? But the ability to have a modular product which is very personalized from a consumer perspective is what we ended up building when we built the Elevate health insurance product. As a part of the product, you have about 20 plus covers. Now, the ability to understand a consumer, what age group they belong, where do they stay, whether they have a pre-existing condition or not, what's the ability or what's the affluence of that particular customer, is what we utilize to develop a collaborative filtering algorithm, which does nothing but provides personalized product solutions for customers. Now, when we started off, we started off with almost 1,20,000, different combinations of what those groups look like. But at some point, we realized it's too complex even for us to understand, right? So the ability to therefore translate that 1,20,000 combinations to maybe a 20,000 or maybe a 10,000 combinations and kind of offer personalized recommendations is where we kind of did that as part of the entire D2C journey. Now, what that did was it helped people, again, choose specific types of covers and specific types of sum insured basis, what the recommendations came through. So we call that as the AI recommender on the website itself. So again, 2 examples of, how really as part of the direct to consumer journey, it's helped us. The third part of the journey, which is really and I know a lot of us are irritated and a lot of our own consumers are irritated, is the amount of phone calling that we do to consumers. But the ability to therefore also use conversational AI in a voice format with these customers is extremely important, right? Because you're not going to have infinite capacity as organizations, and you have the technology available for you now to leverage voice and speech in a very big way. So we started kind of developing voice bots using leveraging a lot of services, which again the ability to take information and intelligence from a consumer. We are not using it from an end-to-end purchase perspective, but to be able to qualify a lead into a hot lead and kind of transferring it to a live agent is where it's making a lot of difference for us, especially for some of the low ticket size insurance products where calling does not make economic sense. So those are kind of 3 examples.
Okay, thank you, Chirag, for your insights. Samir, I'll come to you now. Chirag talked about customer onboarding, right? Post that, there is about customer experience and operations. From the operations standpoint and customer service standpoint, how you are leveraging Gen AI for interacting with the customers, for upselling, cross-selling, renewals, as well as simplifying insurance jargons?
Yeah, that's a great question. So before I respond to that, let me spend a couple of minutes on understanding the CX piece of it, right? So typically what you see in any CX discussion, one word that gets used predominantly is empathy, right? But the real question is which organizations are really able to look at empathy in the true sense and are able to operationalize empathy at scale, right? We're able to measure empathy at some point and also have it as part of the KPIs of people who are in the customer facing roles. Unfortunately, we are in an industry where customers interact with us when they are in distress and typically a hospitalization or car accident or property damage, right? And hence it becomes extremely important how do we respond to them, right? So let me share a story, simple story. So just imagine it's 11 o'clock at night and a customer has met with a minor car accident. Nobody is hurt, but the customer is shaken by the incident. And the first thing that anybody would do is, just try and find out the touch points of insurance company. Where can I reach out? It's a toll-free or a chat bot or a mobile app. So at this moment, what the customer expects is not a policy number or a claim form or a long IVR menu, right? What he expects is someone who's able to guide him on the next steps, right? And that's where I think empathy is extremely important. So it's not just about being polite or it's something which is scripted, right? So empathy is basically something where you can remove the friction when the customer is at the most vulnerable stage. And that's where I think Gen AI comes into picture, where we are able to churn out the data that we have with us as an organization. Customer reaches out to us through different touch points, but are we really able to make sense out of that data and create a response which is customized and also contextual, right? And hence it becomes extremely important that we have understanding of the context in terms of why customer is reaching out, and to guide our agents. I think Gen AI can play potentially a huge role here. In my role, what I have seen is another challenge where Gen AI potentially can be extremely useful is how do you measure the CX parameters, right? So as customers, if we look at responding to these surveys, so there are these CX metrics like CSAT, NPS, and there are these operational metrics like AHT, average handling time, and productivity, etc. But how many times do we, as customers, because we also are, consumers of various services and products, do we take these surveys, right? We take these surveys when we go through extreme experiences, extremely good or it's extremely bad, right? So the response hence becomes, a challenge. And to be able to, make sense out of the matrix and do certain changes in the backend process and hence improve experience becomes extremely difficult, right? So that's where I think Gen AI also can play a big role. From our context where we are exploring Gen AI use cases is both on the operation side as well as on the CX side, where the inbound call center agents are guided by a Gen AI assisted response, which helps them give a customized and contextual responses, which is with clarity, with speed, and which is more importantly emotionally appropriate. Going back to the empathy point, right? So that's what I would say.
Okay, Samir, I liked what you mentioned about empathy in insurance. I'll come to you after that. Now I'll go to Hitesh. Hitesh, Suresh, Dheepak, Chirag, and Samir talked about how they are, using Gen AI in the respective organization, in the respective roles. I'm come to you specifically in terms of, since you manage CX as well as, customer experience as well as analytics, wanted to understand how you are leveraging Gen AI for creating various propensity models so that you see higher uptake on your renewals, plus cross-sell and upsell models.
Thank you, Samrat. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, and wonderful thoughts from the speakers. I have been listening very carefully. So, with respect to the use of Gen AI and AI, I would like to focus on 2 to 3 points. I would like to inform about 2 to 3 points that we are trying to do. So first is what we are doing with respect to digital experience. So in digital experience, there is a lot of scope of using AI to understand what insights we are getting. For example, what we are exploring now is if some of the prospects come on the website or on the app. So if he's scrolling on the website, if he wants to buy something, so what is his reaction to it? So where is he stuck? And we want to just channel that into metrics. So for example, for every user who comes on the website, so we are trying to identify the frustration score. So what is the frustration score out of 10? And this is not based on surveys or on feedback that is asked in solicited way. This is in unsolicited. That is, there will be a code, and based on that, based on his behavior, his frustration score will be identified. And if his frustration score is high, then the respective actions will be taken. So for example, if someone is leaving the code page, then the respective survey will be popped up, or the respective people will be called up for addressing their queries. So these are some of the things that we are trying to do with respect to digital experience, to make the digital experience useful, to bring more and more AI into it. Second thing about the question that you asked, so another thing, important area is customer churn reduction. So identifying the customers who will be churning. So that's a big focus area, and I believe on this aspect a lot can be done. We have a gold mine of data. Whatever data the companies have, it is a gold mine of data. Be it the claims behavior, be it his responses, be it his interactions with us, that easily can predict if he will be with us, or because I'm from general insurance, so if he will be with us or he will leave us in the next year. So customer churn reduction is the third thing, and the second thing, and the third thing is the customer segmentation. So based on the data that we have, using AI, identifying, making profiles of customers to help products, pitching products, to help with distribution and to help with communication and marketing. Yes, that's
Okay, okay, Hitesh. Akhil, I'll come to you now. From the distribution strategy standpoint, how you are using Gen AI for improving 13-month persistency, 25th month persistency, 37th-month persistency, plus creating a better customer lifecycle management at Builders and Life.
Thanks for the question. Thank you everyone for having me here. I think great to be part of the panel, a cross-learning experience. I think you started with a word saying that AI is a buzzword. I hope everybody sitting out here in the panel and the audience will understand that we have been toggling with this word since last 2 to 3 years. But we at Aditya Birla Sun Life Insurance have evolved over the period of time. And I'll talk about a couple of things which we have done. To a very large part, all of us were using RPAs, and that was the initiation of using task automation. But from task automation, the real change has been how can we have decision orchestration. And that's where I think all of us are using agentic AI and voice AI, I think which Chirag also spoke about a while back. If I talk about the experience first in terms of customer lifecycle and onboarding, I think the real challenge in life insurance today is there is nothing called as instant gratification. I am not able to issue a cover note to a customer over the counter the way motor insurance can do it across. So largely, once the payment is made by the customer, the decision making happens at the back end. And maybe in about a day's time, 2 days' time, you will be able to over a contract with the customer. What we are leveraging currently is, can I use agentic AI to start with to have real-time decision making on the go? So the experience, if the customer has made the payment, right after the payment, your STP rule engines which are there, can they be generated on the go the moment payment experience has been done, and you're able to generate an offer to the customer right away? That's something which adds a lot of value. And the medical underwriting part of it is the only thing which goes to core underwriters. There also the initial case preparation is done by agentic bots. So that's one journey, I think, which we have been very successful in terms of evolving over the period of time. And today about 80 to 85% of the cases sales through STP front end. So that's one big change. The other thing you spoke about, 13-month, 25th month persistency. I'll touch base on that very quickly. We started 2020, 2021, by using bots, conversational simple bots. Today, if I have to reach out to a customer to remind, basis the propensity models, bots were being used to tap the customer, and it was co-assisted bot, which will take the customer, tell what is due, assess the customer towards the payment page and make the payment. That is now getting evolved to, can I use voice AI to nudge the customer? If the customer have query, let's take an example, okay, I'm not in a position to pay annual, can you convert my policy into half yearly? Can the conversational bot converse the customer in the same language? If the customer is tweaking his language from English to Hindi or Hindi to Marathi, on the fly, is the conversation voice bot is able to toggle with the customer and have a seamless experience. So I think that is something which is assisted. I'll touch base one more part which is on the growth side because I take care of distribution. We all have large database of customers. So if I talk about Aditya Birla Sun Life Insurance, we are 26 years now into operations. We have large customer database which is due for maturity, which is getting terminated, or the obligation is over, wherein the premium paying liability is over. And I'll just like to build up what Chirag said. Why I use my resources if I have a technology available, wherein the bot or my voice AI can reach out to customer masses, nudge them, tap them what is the lifestyle need, and then warm that lead and then pass on to my live agent for conversion efficiency. So I think these are large 3 areas on which we are working. Some of them will be really successful. I told you the case about persistency from a bot to a agentic AI bot. The other part is offloading the underwriting from the front end, from the back end to the front end. I think these are a couple of areas which we have been able to leverage very seamlessly. And as an industry, I feel from a life insurance perspective, we have to travel a path wherein we can give instant decision rather than giving decision at the back end. That's a real problem statement, and my colleagues sitting out here from the life insurance industry will appreciate this fact. We as an industry has not been able to give instant gratification, and feel that AI and voice AI will be able to assist us running that path in the long run.
Okay, Akhil. Thank you, Akhil, for your insights. Now I will touch upon the most critical aspect for all of us in this room when we talk about Gen AI. The most important thing is the use case. We talked about the use case, and now we'll talk about how we are trying to look at the financial benefit or the cost benefit that Gen AI will give a positive cost reduction by various use case. So Suresh, from your standpoint, how you guys are measuring cost efficiency and the logic of using Gen AI in your day-to-day operations?
See, I think
any other use case you guys are focusing on to measure the cost efficiency?
If you look at operations, it is cost efficiency and accuracy in the whole decision-making process. So are we able to do better quality work with lesser number of people? If it comes to operations, let it be claims and operations process. But if you look at underwriting or claims adjudication, what is the accuracy in that whole process that we are identifying? How are we able to identify what the frauds that are there? How accurately are we able to understand what has to be paid, what has not to be paid? How do we eliminate errors on that? And if I come on the voice side, if it is an outbound process, it is more about how are we able to identify those opportunities which our callers missed, and are we able to create those additional opportunities and are able to fill it back to the team or send it through an automated campaign, make it warm, and then feed it back to the team. So there it is less of cost, it is more about creating those opportunities. On the sales side or on the renewal side, how are we able to take case of those boundary conditions? See, wherever there are humans involved, the boundary conditions, the edge conditions are where people miss out. There was a follow-up which had to be done. A human might miss out. But once we do it through a agentic process, that process might not be missed out. So on the renewal side, we are looking at, will it help us increase our persistency by another 0.5%? So that is how we are evaluating. And obviously, whenever you put a solution to use, you monitor it and see if it is yielding results, and then you do course correction accordingly.
Yeah, Deepak, how you guys are managing or measuring the cost efficiency of using Gen AI?
So from a tech side, it's very simple. The onus is on business to bring in the ROI. We know what the costs are. So, practically for every kilowatt of generative AI is about $3-5 of electricity that we consume. And most data centers today run on recycled water, so that's not so much of an issue because it's recycled water that is powering all the chillers in data centers. And power will sort of drastically reduce. It's about $17-18 in the US. In India, that will not be an issue anymore. The cost of per million token consumption is also crashing dramatically. So every business wants to bring in their own model, and we are, as tech, we are pretty open to the idea because they know what they're paying for. So if they put a Claude or an OpenAI to ingest a PDF document that's 30 kilobytes, that's like $6. As long as they were able to play $6 per document, they know how the mathematics work. So from our sense, I think there were two waves of AI. There was the first wave where you just do experimentation, set aside some money, and CIOs were typically measured on number of pilots, and how many pilots did we do. But the wave that we are speaking right now is, please show me what is growth, what is how the efficiency is going up, like Suresh mentioned in the ops world, how much of efficiency upshift that we're seeing because of any tech that we want to deploy. Or if something that is adding to the bottom line, or it is something that is improving the experience, whether it is a patient experience or a consumer experience in the case of motor, or a corporate experience in the case of fire, property, marine engineering, or cyber risk, for example. So I think the as we speak, it's a bit of a mixed view that I have. A lot of companies and use cases are able to demonstrate ROI. There is also, sliding stocks because, ROI is something that is not, really forthcoming. So I would like to reserve my comments, but I think many companies are looking at ROI. If there is no ROI, there is no project that is getting approved. That's the way I see it.
Okay. Chirag, I know Lombard has got tons of data. Now, they say that it's not the data what you have. It's about how you utilize the data and the insights you use. Now, talking about insights and data, how you are leveraging Gen AI to get better customers, to predict losses, and how you are communicating, with the specific or personalized offers to those set of customers.
So I'll just probably had a point on the ROI piece. So I think two things are happening in the industry. One is like Dheepak was saying, pilots are no longer the way to go. Really, if either you're fully in or you're out. The second piece I think which is happening and that we are seeing across colleagues that we talk in the industry is, previously we talked about a part of the process that an AI solution is going to help you solve. I think the conversations have completely changed to what's in it from a consumer perspective, what's in it from an overall process perspective with respect to what are you trying to solve. So I think those are the two key things which are actually leading to meaningful conversations from an ROI perspective. And I say this because I was in data science till about a year ago and I spent 14 years there and I moved to the business side. So obviously we are kind of figuring out what ROIs we are giving. Coming back to your question, from a Gen AI perspective, obviously now as a company we'll be 25 years old this August. So we had tons of data. The benefit that Lombard had was we were probably early adopters of a lot of technologies, right? For example, when there were motor claims, right? We were an early adopter of giving to our CSMs or the customer service people on the ground to be able to collect photographs of vehicles. What that did was it gave us an edge in terms of being able to utilize that data for kind of creating solutions around understanding which parts are damaged, which Dheepak also talked about, right? So again, being an early adopter obviously helps because you have a ton of data. Going back to classical AI and kind of how that has helped is the ability to identify damages and therefore be able to have that as part of your customer journey and kind of shortening the TAT from weeks to probably days is what really helped. Leveraging that from a Gen AI perspective, obviously, when you talk about generative AI, it's not just your data, right? You're talking about the whole data across. So one use case I'll just talk about real quick, and a lot of the doctors, when they're handling health claims, have to see a ton of information before they decide what to do with that particular claim. It could be 45 pages, it could be as much as 100 pages at times. Now, what a Gen AI solution really does is to be able to, extract information really well, right? The classical AI solutions had accuracies which were in the 70-80%. But if you look at all of the newer solutions, that accuracy has gone up tremendously. So one is the ability to extract information. The second is to apply the intelligence layer on top of it. Now, the intelligence layer is a combination of Gen AI gives you, as well as what expertise the organization carries and how you build that decisioning layer on top of the Gen AI solution, right? And that's where you need, the expertise that you really have within the organization to work really closely for you to get an intrinsic solution. So in the example that I just talked about, the ability to therefore extract that information and to see whether that particular diagnosis warranted a 5-day treatment in the hospital, whether it warranted the kind of tests that were asked from the consumer, whether it warranted the kind of medication that was prescribed from a consumer perspective, is where Gen AI is helping on the claim side a lot. And the ability to therefore be able to, one, detect frauds, second, go back to the hospitals to have that conversation to say, why did you, actually run all these tests? Because it's like a deterrent, right? It's like a camera. You will not speed in front of a camera because you're being watched. So the ability for hospitals also to believe that they are being watched in terms of the claims that they are pushing through insurance companies. I think that helps a lot in terms of one, being able to utilize the entire Gen AI solution from a claims perspective, and it is also helped in another way, which is to reduce the time it's taken to kind of process a claim, right? Because, again, as I said, you don't have infinite capacity. You would rather have the doctors get a summary of the entire document rather than going through the 45 pages of discharge summaries and the medical test reports, etc. So it's really increased productivity in those lines. And ultimately, it's also reduced the time it's taking to settle a claim from a consumer perspective. So all in all, kind of it works out really well, both from an internal efficiency perspective, as well as from a customer angle in terms of turnaround times as well as settlements.
Okay. Samir, I'll come to you now. You mentioned about empathy in terms of handling a customer. From the customer service from the customer service standpoint. Now, for that to happen, you need to empower your persons who are interacting with the customers on the various touch points. So talk about call center or inbound call center as well as outbound call centers. Now, how you are empowering them using Gen AI for faster, because claim is a moment of truth for our industry, right? So for faster claim process as well as faster settlement, so that as well as also understand how we can also identify the frauds.
Right. So as far as ROI is concerned, I think I was just chatting with one of the InsurTech players some time back, and that's where actually when the rubber hits the road, you realize what's in it for us as an organization. So, and hence it becomes extremely important which use case you are talking about, as far as Gen AI is concerned. So, as far as we are concerned, we were looking at it, from a renewal use case perspective. And as Suresh mentioned, from an efficiency standpoint, obviously there is no comparison, between a human, reaching out to a set of customers versus a bot or a AI agent reaching out, right? In terms of the multilingual, capabilities, in terms of being there 24/7, reaching out at convenient time, whenever at the scheduled time, etc. But where, it stops making sense is when you don't have adequate scale to support that investment. And I think I am yet to see that in a full-fledged manner, as he also mentioned about voice AI, right? So we've been exploring that space for some of the use cases internally. While my co-panelists are saying we have moved away from the POC, but given our size and a strategic priority, we're still exploring that from a POC standpoint. So to make sure that we are investing in the right use cases, right? So ROI, I'll also reserve my comments on that as of now. But there are classical AI pieces which we have been able to implement, and we've been exploring that for a while now, and from last I think 4 to 5 years now on the underwriting as well as on the claim side, and it's functioning quite well, and we are able to see a good ROI there.
Okay, thank you, Samir. Hitesh, I'll come to you now. Now, they say AI is all about the data at the back end. So how you train your engines with the data. You have a lot of customer data. You have a lot of insights about the customers. How you are all bringing it together using AI for a better customer experience, number one, and better product proposition for the customers.
So I believe the data hygiene aspect is very important, and this should be there at the front-end systems, wherever the data is being captured at agent level or at contact center level, at claims professional level. So wherever there are systems, it is very important to capture the right data, because in many of the companies, so what I have seen is there's this challenge of many basic hygiene aspects, so they are not available, and in that case it becomes very difficult to combine all the data and bring it together. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to bring in data from various systems and just use wherever we don't have any data, we are trying to leverage it from outside, from external systems, and bring it together to identify, as I mentioned, the right profiles, the right customer segments to go after and to create the product propositions. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Hitesh. Akhil, I'll come to you now. A lot of customer expectations are set by the digital ecosystem, which we have seen growing in India post Flipkart coming into play in 2008 and Amazon coming to India in 2013. Now, post that, we have seen a lot of insurtechs also coming into play. A lot of insurance company has, digitize their systems. One is digitizing their systems, other is improving the customer journey. Now, what do you think, customer expects in terms of giving the customer experience in terms of while a company interacts with the customer, be it from a life insurance perspective, it will be during renewals or other life stage changes. So how do we use those data using AI so that you can, connect to customers for a better personalized experience?
Yeah, so I'll give a quick shot to it. And I'll take an example of two large distributors with which we work. One is how you are simplifying the customer experience is part one. And we have API integrations, which is pretty basic, wherein large bank partners where we have the engagement, the data of the customer comes and it is as big as knowing about 160 to 180 feeds, which is captured by the bank, which transfers to us. How can you pre-populate as a part of the journey is one simplification, because journey is completely digitized. But how do you run offers for the customer using that data? So let's take an example. If I'm getting a data for next customer, I know what is his average quarterly balance, how many cash transactions he's doing, how many non-cash transactions he's doing, what is his life age, which city he's living, married, not married. That tells you that for a 35-year-old customer, when you have onboarded, after 5 years, he evolved at 40. What life stage needs are changing? Is it the right time to pitch an annuity product? So that's how we leverage data. So all this data comes into our data lake, and on that data lake, we run pre-approved sum assured offers, customized offers, to give that a customer has taken a protection plan with me. Now he has evolved for 3 to 4 years. Is there a need to push a child product? Is there a need to give an annuity product? So this is the kind of experience we built on the data lake by doing past offers, and that is on the fly. So today, as we speak, we are able to leverage big time on the bancassurance side data, which is passed by bancassurance partners, and try to uplift that experience.
Okay, thank you, Akhil. Now I'll come to the last leg of our discussion now. Now from Gen AI, we talked about POCs, we talked about experimentation. Now it's a time where we want to implement. So Suresh, why do you see, Gen AI can be implemented, for a better ROI, number one, and better customer experience, be it sales or if you feel underwriting, for faster underwriting, or customer onboarding, or any other point or any other aspect related to customer service and claims?
I think we can implement Gen AI in any of these processes. Obviously, we have to tie it up with the proper ROI. But I think one aspect which I want to touch more from a tech angle, we have been talking about use cases. I think some of these use cases, and Chirag also talked about how we have to talk about not a particular department. How do these use cases cut across departments? That is when we start getting value out of this overall investment. And I think that is where the whole AI, data, ML, the interplay becomes very important. And to top it up with the availability of APIs, and those APIs, are they AI ready? I think the day when we get these things ready, these foundational things ready, is then you have to pick and choose which department, which functions that make sense to the business, and we start getting ROI out of it. Because the end game is how do we implement some of these things at scale at an efficient cost.
Okay. Dheepak, your view on this?
My view is that the bell rangs. No, I think IT for IT. I think Suresh touched upon it. Huge opportunity. I think we just scratching the surface at the moment. About 70% of any new code that's written is completely written by AI. Unfortunately, about 70-80% of vulnerabilities are also created by AI. As we speak, many large big tech companies are rolling back AI and putting human agents to verify, the code smells. Is it, how much of vulnerability, old code versus new code, and so a little bit of a bump that we need to get over. But using AI to, let's say, spin off infrastructure on the cloud, do FinOps monitoring, look at writing specifications. That's a huge benefit for the business guys who are constantly working with the market, trying to build for new features, this, that. You can just use AI to create BRD, FRD, TRD. All the requirement specifications can be done really neatly, and the friction between business and tech we can really, reduce, frankly, overnight. Also, CI/CD pipeline, release management, all of that areas is up for grabs, and AI can do that so beautifully. I think it's a golden era also for entrepreneurs who have great ideas but cannot code. They can just get $100 Anthropic cloud with a little bit of rate limiting, but if they write code every 5-6 hours in a day, they can get superlative products to the market. So that's the way I see it.
Okay. Chirag?
So I'll be quick. So I think AI is going to be pervasive everywhere. I think whether we choose to adopt it or not is going to be on us as part of our daily lives. I think, it's there for us, Copilot, kind of our Outlook. Everything has AI, right? Whether you use it to draft an email, create a PPT, it's just kind of a productivity improvement for us in our personal lives. The obvious second piece is, at least from a ROI perspective, two things that at least we've seen, especially on the customer service side. We've seen that customers want to transact with us digitally. So our digital transactions, whether it is through AI driven or through just normal DIY solutions, has bumped up from about 38% to 60%, right? So we are talking about 1 in every 2 transactions almost being digital, right? So I think that's the way the world is moving. From a Gen AI perspective, again, in insurance, there is a lot more to do, obviously. Insurance has always been the original data science company, right? Because actuaries use that data to, obviously predict, losses and stuff like that. But the ability to utilize that into newer segmentation models from, just continuing on the traditional segmentation models is one thing that's going to change quite a bit, is what I feel. The second piece is the end-to-end claims processes from, just moving away from digitization to automation to being able to, kind of reduce time there, as well as kind of ensure that, you have the same kind of outcome everywhere, which is more kind of standard as opposed to, kind of deeply personal. So that's the third piece. And finally, I think one thing that we should keep in mind is the question you asked about empathy and stuff like that. We are still, you got to balance your AI with your human touch. So ensure that you have a human in the loop wherever the need be. So whichever use cases you're going to pick up, be conscious of that and make sure that you do have a human in the loop wherever the need be.
Samir, your view on this?
Yeah, so I'll be quick. these are all the tech guys on my right side, and on my left side, all the business guys. So I'm in the middle. So I'll just share my view where I would like to see the Gen AI creating disruption in the true sense. So we've been looking at conversational AI, agentic AI. I think that is one technology which I would like to see a lot of refinement in terms of while currently it is human-like voice, right? But as far as managing real human conversations and objection handling, probing, etc., to a level where as Chirag mentioned, wherever you need the human intervention, only there humans are being involved. So that's on the technology side. The other aspect is that are we to the point that I made earlier. So one is that by implementing these solutions, we are definitely going to improve the efficiency. There's no doubt about it. But the other side is for example, if you again I'll quote example of the renewal use case, right? So the ultimate metric for any renewal kind of use case to be justified is how much conversions you are seeing, right? So that is where I think we also should be able to see models where we are looking at outcome-driven models, cost models. I think that's something that I would like to see, where there will be skin in the game for the insurtech players as well as for organizations.
Hitesh, your view on this?
So I would like to just say a few sentences. One is amongst all these AI tools and all the data that we have, it is very important for us to make the correct use cases and not go after 50 use cases, but 10 use cases across domains. And what that should bring up is customizations for the customers, and better products, the products that they need, the services that they need. That's it.
Okay. Akhil?
Yeah, I think we are out by 8 minutes and the anchor is looking at us. Well, very quickly, I think my last submission, AI is there to stay. We all have seen benefits in bits and pieces. It is there to improve efficiency, and I agree with all my panelists that for now, it cannot be without human touch. We need human intervention to understand where we can leverage AI and where we can take the maximum ROI. 2 quick examples with which I want to wrap it across is, about 2 to 3 years back, we used to run a contact center for a pre-issuance verification call, which is a mandatory thing by IRDA, that before conversion of a case, you have to contact the customer. That used to be about a 50 center kind of a desk. Today, we operate with 2 callers. So that's the ROI example which I can put it across and say that really that's a real use case. On the underwriting front, last 1 year, we have not added a single underwriter, and the book has grown by 20%. So yeah, I think it is giving fruitful results, and it is just the start. I think we can definitely leverage and take this up to the next level. Thank you.
Okay. I think we had a great discussion and very engaging one. Thank you, panelists, for sharing your insights. Now, I think we have shortage of time also, so I'll keep the house open. If anybody wants to ask any question, I think we'll be happy to answer that.
We're a little crucial on time, so we'll have to skip the Q&A for now. But I think you all leaders will be here, so any interaction with them one-on-one will be a fabulous one. Thank you so much. Can we have a huge round of applause? I think with this, it's very evident that generative AI is becoming more powerful catalyst when it comes to transformation for insurance industries. I'll request you to please stay back. I'll now call upon Vineet Krishnan, Associate Director, Business Development and Growth, OnGrid, to please join us on stage. Can we have a huge round of applause for Mr. Vineet Krishnan? I'll request you to please felicitate one by one our fabulous panel out here. Can we call upon Mr. Suresh Kolla, Head IT and Operations, Care Health Insurance Limited, to please join us on the center stage so that we can have a great insightful talk today. I think we could have gone with the Q&A, but we're extremely sorry. Next, I'll request Mr. Dheepak Rajoo, Chief Information Officer, Royal Sundaram General Insurance Company Limited. Thank you once again, sir. Can we have a huge round of applause for him? Well, great insights from all the leader. I may now request Mr. Chirag Bhojani, Head Digital Business, ICICI Lombard. Thank you so much once again. Fabulous perspectives shared by you, sir. I may now request Samir Malgundkar, Senior Vice President and Head Operation Customer Experience Process Excellence, Liberty General Insurance. Can we have a huge round of applause? Once again, a great insights. I may call upon Hitesh Chaudhari, AVP Marketing, Insights and Customer Experience, Future Generali India Insurance Company Limited. Can we have a huge round of applause? Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your perspective. May I call upon 𝐒𝐚𝐥𝐬𝐴, Head Distribution Strategic Partnership, Aditya Birla Sun Life Insurance. Thank you for a very meaningful dialogue. Can we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? And for our moderator, can we have a great huge round of applause for him as well? Because I think the navigation through the question and answer, it was really amazing. Samrat Ghosh, thank you so much for joining us, Head Digital Business and Partnership, SBI General Insurance. I'll request everybody with a memento to please join us near the central stage. Yeah, please forward, everyone. I'll request you also to please, yeah. Well, I think, can we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Let's get going now. Because I think from enabling smarter sales strategies and seamless digital onboarding to delivering faster and more personalized customer service, AI is definitely helping insurers create more efficient, responsive, and customer-centric approach and ecosystem. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for a very meaningful dialogues and conversation. Thank you so much. Thank you.